Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room Podcast. This is episode 108. We're here to do the AFC South preview. As you can tell by the title, it's just me and my boy Q today. Max is moving in. We are back in college. Max is moving in today. I don't know what Jaden is doing. I think he's been busy with work and school, just as we're getting back in the flow of things. But I'm excited to be here. I know me and Q gonna be quick and efficient, hit every single topic. And so I think, even though it's just us two, and it's probably gonna be like a shorter episode, I think it's still gonna be pretty entertaining, and we're gonna offer more concise breakdowns. Basically, I think just because it's the two of us. But AFC South preview, obviously. We can start off with, we always start these off with our major headlines, major questions for the teams that we have every year. And let's start off with the Texans. Probably the team that got the most improved, or the Titans could be. You could consider the Titans. It might be the Titans. Are the Texans the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC? That's my question. Start off for the Texans. They got the Neil Hunter. They got Stephon Diggs, still a top 10 receiver in the league. Year two, CJ Stroud, still got Bobby Slowick calling plays. Defense should be even better than it was last year with the addition of Neil Hunter, with Jalen Petrie and I'm blanking on his name. Derek Stingley, getting more experience in NFL. I think they did lose a pretty good defense end, if I'm not mistaken, but
it was Jonathan Grenard, but you basically swapped him for Danielle Hunter.
Danielle Hunter, who's better. So, what you think about the chances to actually be the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC?
Not to sound like a hater, but I don't think, based on the division, I think they have to worry about winning the division more than they have to worry about the Chiefs. They upgraded, but they weren't better than. They weren't really better than the top three teams in their division last year. It literally came down to the last Sunday. You already know my Trevor Lawrence situation. I already explained how that went. So there was multiple times that they literally could have not made the playoffs. It's just one missed throw in a 150-yard Derrick Henry game. Literally 3 hours before that, they make the playoffs. They got a lot better, but I think the Jags got better. I think the Titans got better. And I think the Colts got better. So I think even though they took a jump, I think they weren't a super high above everybody else. So I think they still have to worry about the division. In terms of seeing the Chiefs, that's still another mountain to climb. They still have to prove they could beat the Ravens at least. I don't the Bengals. I'm not really high on them as a contender. The Bills, I don't think I think the Bills would beat them, but that's not a crazy opinion. I mean, you could do that, but
I was thinking about the matchup.
You can name 5 players on the Texans, and after that, you're listing off average dudes. So I don't their roster's not crazy talented. They got some young talent, but they still have to prove themselves. Jalen Petrie had a down year last year. Derek Stingley, I think he's going to be an All-Pro this year. Danielle Hunter's a main man, but everybody else is still outside of the receiver core. Outside of Stephon Diggs, everybody still got to prove they still they here. Tank Dell got to play a whole season. I don't think Nico Collins still has isn't that top or echelon of receiver. So I think and their O-line is still bad. There's a lot of things that they still have to prove before they could think about taking down the Chiefs.
Gotta mention Will Anderson too.
He's a stud. Yeah, of their players is CJ, Diggs, Derek Stingley, Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson. Everybody else, I think any other team matches up out their top 10, top end talent. I think the roster matches up with anybody or anybody else's roster matches up, or is probably better than their roster outside of those 5. So I don't think it's a big roster gap. I think they just caught up to everybody else, not got better than everybody else.
I think so. I would still have the Ravens as the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. They played them pretty well. A few things go their way in that playoff game. They possibly are in the Super Bowl. They still have one of the best rosters in the NFL. They still have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. They still have an elite defense. They still have a pretty good play calling on both sides. They still have a pretty good coach. So I would still give Ravens a nod as being the biggest threat. But right after that, I would have the Texans as the next biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC. I think they're going to have a very, very good defense, especially with the development of Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, and Danielle Hunter. Their offense is going to be super, super dynamic. CJ Stroud in year 2, another year with Bobby Slowick. I think just by default, having better weapons, I think if CJ Stroud is able to get the ball out a lot quicker, then he will alleviate some of the struggles that they have as an offensive line. But they still got Larry Tunsil there, who's gonna help some of that. Just with him being so good. Kind of similar to like Trent Williams, but not to that effect because obviously Trent is better. They obviously added Stephon Diggs, who I think is still a top 10 receiver in the NFL. Tank Dell is an up and coming player in the NFL. I don't think he's like a star or anything, but he's a damn good receiver. Nico Collins is probably going to be a top 20 receiver at the end of this year, for sure, if he's not already now. So with the firepower they have on this offense, the names they have on the defense, the coaching they have on this defense as well, it's kind of like they don't have the talent of the 49ers, but they have the infrastructure because they have the coaches, the play calling, all that type of stuff, and they have what I think you need to beat the Chiefs in this league, or even have a chance against the Chiefs. You got to have a superstar, cyborg type of quarterback, one of those top 5-7 guys in the NFL, and I think that's what CJ Stroud will submit himself as after this year. The people that have given him the Chiefs the best matchup so far has been Josh Allen. It has been Joe Burrow. So you need a guy. I'm not saying he's of that caliber of Josh Allen, but I don't think Joe Burrow is super like clear of CJ Stroud. To be honest, I will have him maybe have Stroud like 7-8.
I said that.
I'll have Stroud at 7-8. I think I will have Burrow at 5. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I don't think he's super clear. He's in that echelon, and he's coming into year 2. I think he probably will get even better. It's not even about his stats. It's the way he processed defenses last year. The way he read the field. It's like he came in and he's like a veteran. From week one. From week 1, he was making the correct reads. It's like he made a mistake, and then the next time he did something, it's like he learned from it. He's a quick learner. He literally like his arm talent is up there. We started at the combine before he even got into the NFL. It's like he can make every single throw inside the pocket. Last year, he showed the ability to make plays outside the pocket. So CJ is really basically the full the full package. Yeah, I think this team is probably they'll be my third, probably in the AFC if I had to make a tier list or something like that. They're right under the Ravens. They did a lot. They did a lot, but I think I still got the Ravens ahead of them because the way they dominated them, the Ravens got experience on their hands. And I don't think necessarily like the addition of Danielle Hunter is going to change the fact that Lamar killed them last year. So like I don't know. He's obviously an impact player, but not to the point where as far as defensively, he's going to change that game, especially since they still had an offensive line concerns. Because the Ravens the Ravens defense line had a field day that day. So and CJ managed it. He got the ball out fast, but they weren't able to generate offense. And now they obviously added Stephon Diggs, but I don't know if he alleviates the issue with their offense line as well. So I would just like if they potentially match up in the playoffs this season, I probably would still be favoring the Ravens. It depends on how the season goes too. But going into it, yeah, I'm picking the Ravens.
That's what I mean because they won 10 games last year. And the other 2 teams they won 9. One game difference. Really, we're talking about a couple of quarters. That's the NFL. It's always like a couple quarters. But like I said, they got better, but their pieces don't like Stephon Diggs and Danielle Hunter aren't like we're gonna go from 10 wins to 13 because we got these 2 dudes. Like just how the way the NFL works. Like one big acquisitions like that technically don't usually like pan out like in terms of like all season moves, but like they also aren't worth like that amount of like up like I guess pushing in the rankings like unless it's like a quarterback like in terms of Vegas a quarterback is worth 3 points, a receiver is worth like half a point. Like those are like great moves. Like on a down basis, it might mean something having Diggs out there on like a 3rd and 8 instead of Noah Brown or something like that. Yeah, like on that specific down or it's 3rd and 5 and you need to get a stop. Danielle Hunter, he's perfect, but that don't mean like the win total just goes up. And like I said, everybody else in the division also got better. So if they each take let's say everybody gets earned one more win. We're talking about 11-2, like 11-10 win teams still fighting. Like, you're not thinking about a division round team or like a team that barely won their division going to face the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still got other things they got to work on. This, unless CJ Stroud's a bona fide top 5 quarterback, it's going to be hard to even be in the same realm as the Chiefs anyway.
Okay, let's talk about the Jags. They obviously started the year off 8-3. I think they had like a 98% chance of making the playoffs, and then obviously Trevor Lawrence got injured. Dropped passes, offensive line broke down. Defense was shaky. Even though I do think their pass rush was really good, their pass defense was not good at all. So do you think they can bounce back from last year's failure? And where do you see their place in this division? Because I think a lot of people are penciling in as the Houston Texans are going to win it. But I think this division is going to be a lot more competitive than what some people think.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 split, Houston or the Jags. Like I said, the Jags damn near basically had the division locked up after week 11. They were 8-3. And like I said, that's when when Trevor Lawrence got injured, that's when they came crashing down. Like, you could say, like, all season their O-line was bad. All season Calvin Ridley was dropping passes. All season the pass defense wasn't good. All season Travis Etienne was not an efficient runner of the football, even though he had a stretch where he was scoring a touchdown for like 5 straight weeks. He still was not efficient in his runs. All that, the play calling in the first half was bad. All that was going on, and Trevor Lawrence, healthy, still had him at 8-3, regardless of all those other things. So after the fact, obviously he was, carrying them despite all those other factors. Like, I'm not gonna say he's a superstar, but what you want your star quarterback to do to overcome. It's something that's one of those things like Justin Herbert kind of gets a knock for because he doesn't overcome like a lot of the hardships. Like Trevor Lawrence, he was doing that until he went down. And I understand he went down because the O-line is, O-line is the O-line, but they upgraded that. They got a true deep weapon because Trevor Lawrence can throw the deep ball, but the people he was throwing the deep ball to last year was dropping the ball. He literally had 7 drop touchdowns. They got extra help in the secondary. They got extra help to stop the run with Eric Armstead. Linebacking unit got better. You just got to see what it looked like. I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I think they could win 10 games and probably still win it, win the division. And then whatever happens in the playoffs happens in the playoffs. We've seen them in the playoffs be bad, and then Trevor Lawrence do some magical nonsense and win a playoff game. So I think the division really is up for grabs, and the Jags are like right there for the taking. I don't think anybody should be super, super heavy favorites out the division, just regardless of what the general consensus on Houston would be.
I would agree with you on that. I think the Jags do have a shot to win this division. I will be picking Houston to win this division, though. I think it's gonna be super, super, super tight, though. I'm probably gonna be lower on the Titans. But we'll get to that. I think it is between because the Colts in this division too. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna have the Titans last in this division. The Colts.
That's no slight.
The Colts right there too. But I think the Jags and the Jags and Texans, rightfully so, are the top 2 teams you would have as winning the division because they have the quarterback play, basically the most experienced quarterback play. They just have it in the division. I know football is more than that. It's about coaching, stuff like that as well. The Jags, they definitely got better this offseason. Addressed some of the issues. They got another wide receiver in Bryce Thomas Jr., who I'm very high on. Because I'm going to talk about him later. He has been lighting up in camp. There's been a lot of hype in camp. His route running looked better in camp. I saw a comeback route. I was really impressed by that footwork. I was really impressed by that. He was getting in and out of his breaks pretty fast, and I think that was a knock on him coming out of college. So if he can be what he was drafted to be, I think he can be one of the best receivers in his class. And obviously this is a really, really deep receiver class, so I think that's saying a lot. I think Brian Thomas Jr. This year is going to have an amazing season. But outside of him, I think Travis Etienne is still good back. He wasn't efficient last year, but he was a touchdown machine. This offensive line is not good. It's still not good. But they signed a few people. I don't know how much impact they're going to actually make on, as far as them being a better offensive line. But when you have a Trevor Lawrence who has shown the ability to elevate talent, if he can stay healthy, this team should definitely be in consideration for the winning division. I don't really see them much reason why they wouldn't be. Now the passing defense, I don't think is improved that much, but they're able to consistently get to the passer. It kind of alleviates that. We know that. I like the addition of Eric Armstead, Josh Allen Hines, or whatever you want to be called now. My bad, his actual name. He was pretty good last year. Trayvon Walker, finally he came into his own a little bit last year. They were one of the best pass rushing duos in the league to end the season last year. So they have a really, really good pass rush. It's really about solidifying that back end. And I wish they could have got like a Stephon Gilmore. I think he's still a pretty darn good player. If they would have got one like him to help that passing defense. As far as the playoffs, I'm not really high on them, but I do think in the regular season they can compete in his division. And I still believe in Trevor. I'm not really like I wouldn't say I'm like a stan of him or something like that, but I like Trevor Lawrence. I would love watching him in college, even though he whooped Alabama, bro. He did do that. But it's kind of like how you had the generation of prospects where like everybody like him, like them type of people. It's like he was one of them. And I thought last year I had him as a dark horse MVP candidate. That wasn't looking too bad through 11 weeks, to be honest. Damn near contention for number one in the AFC. The numbers weren't eye popping, but the numbers from any quarterback that we really consider MVP candidate wasn't eye popping last year. Not really gonna have bro. Through 11 weeks was Josh Allen stuff like eye popping. Do you think 11 weeks?
Oh no, I wasn't even gonna talk about Josh. Like,
okay, who you talking about?
Bro, Dak Prescott's numbers the whole season
okay.
Were literally great.
All right,
One,
sure.
the 49ers game, on a game-to-game basis, Dak Prescott's numbers was great every game outside of those, because not all his losses he played bad, but the 49ers loss looked bad and the Bills loss looked bad because he had bad numbers. All those other games, come on, dog. Come on.
No, Dak numbers did look good, and then obviously Josh Allen numbers look good at the end of the season. When it got to the end of the season, his numbers over the toe, it looked good. Lamar, I don't think it was an eye popping number things, but he didn't get
showed up in big games.
Yeah, and his touchdowns, he got taken away from the touchdown because the goal line they just hand out to run the back. So I don't know if I'm going to have him in a conversation again this year as a dark horse MVP candidate because I think a lot of the teams in the league got better, the division got better. I'm not going to have him in that conversation again, but I did believe him a lot last year. I had that agenda, so I think highly of Trevor Lawrence and his capabilities. I'm gonna kind of allude to that later, but that's the Jags. I know you're a big AR guy. Aren't you?
It's a give and take with AR. It's not like I'm fully on board, but he's still like the molar quarterback I like.
So, what are you expecting from Anthony Richardson in basically year one? Because we're going to say last year he played 4 games. That's why I say year one. It's basically damn near still his rookie season. But he has the added experience of actually watching the NFL practice, playing with trainers, all that type of stuff, learning under Shane Steichen. What are your expectations for him in his second year, basically? Because I think through first 4 games, I'm not going to lie, the way people talk about them first 4 games, he was good for a rookie, for sure. But he wasn't like anything he was crazy.
Exciting. He was exciting. He was cool to watch. But the numbers weren't great.
From a throwing the ball perspective, I don't think he was great at all, to be honest. So what are your expectations for him? He's coming off a shoulder injury where he had to miss shoulder surgery. We had to miss the entire season last year. We saw what they were able to do with Gardner Minshew last year, go 9-8, and theoretically he should be an upgrade from that.
It's gonna be bumpy, but I feel like it's only gonna be bumpy in the beginning. It's gonna be obviously not gonna have a Jordan Love season, but I think first half is gonna be a lot to be desired. But then he's gonna come on in the second half, after he fully understands what he has to do in the Shane Steichen offense. But I think if he's able to just get the ball to the players, I think he should be fine. You got Jonathan Taylor back there, you got 3 very capable receivers. Once Josh Downs gets back. Got a good tight end. O-line improved. They had a down year, but they right back to being an above average O-line. I think this team always had a good defense. So if they just rely on the defense and Anthony Richardson just makes the small plays, those exciting the exciting players going to work. Red zone, things like that. Shane Steichen is going to make sure he gets them, makes him productive. But throwing the ball, you probably won't see a big jump in his throwing ability till like late season once he gets a little bit more comfortable. Because this, like you said, is technically basically year one. It's a new cast of like to him, this is a new cast of receivers, regardless of what you was throwing to in training camp. But if you get the ball to Michael Pittman, you can get the ball to A.D. Mitchell. If you can get the ball to Josh Downs and just let them do the rest of the work, then you should be fine. I know you want to see people want to see the big plays and the strong arms and the running and all that. Like he's gonna run, but using a rocket arm is you're not gonna have time to do that. I don't think he has the touch to be even making those type of throws on a consistent basis. Not yet. So I think it's gonna be like a learning curve. They probably still win like 9 games like last year, and that's gonna be pretty fine. Like they would want to make the playoffs because they were a throwaway last year, but not everything is linear. It's probably not gonna work like that. Like that's the same thing for the Texans. They could be a better team and still win the same 10 and go to the same 10-7, but they just play better. I think the same thing could happen for the Colts. Like they could probably play better and still be 9-8. And you just gotta take what you get from that, and then next year, hopefully, you got something to build on.
I think if Anthony Richardson is who he can be in this offense with Shane Steichen, who worked with Jalen Hurts and maximize him as a runner and maximize him as a passer, this team does have 3 really good weapons: Josh Downs, Michael Pittman. They drafted Adonai Mitchell this year. They got Jonathan Taylor in the running game, so they should have a really, really good offense. If he can be what he can be, and he does still have accuracy issues. I think as far as like processing, though, I think he should be pretty fine. We got to see how he comes off this shoulder injury as well. But if he is who he can be, he should be like borderline like top 13 quarterback, and this offense be really, really, really good. To be honest, he has an opportunity where he has some of the best play calling in the league. He probably had a top half. I don't know. I'm not trying to like say anything too crazy, but like he has really, really good offensive weapons around him. To be honest, especially if Adonai Mitchell is who we think he could be. Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Jonathan Taylor being still a top 7 back in the league. He has the weapons. It's not going to be a thing where it's like, oh, this quarterback is young, he doesn't have the weapons. He has a really good offensive infrastructure. I think the defense is going to be should be pretty fine. I don't know about their. If I'm not mistaken, it's like their passing defense is going to be an issue.
Yeah, they generate a lot of pressure, so that allows their secondary to relax. They got a good pair of safeties, but outside of Kenny Moore, who's a slot receiver, it's a lot to be desired on the Colts. Like they were a lot better when they had Stephon Gilmore, but that was about 2 years ago now. So that's what if they can make a trade for Marshawn Lattimore, then I'm all in on the defense.
Yeah, I think the only hole on the defense is the really corners. I like their the linebackers. I like the front 7. But this is a pretty good team. It's just that the AFC is super, super competitive. They're in a super, super competitive division. So they might be one of those teams where they're good. We know they're good, but they're just in a tough division. And they're in a tough conference. And honestly, this division might be tough for a very, very long time. They have 3 potential great quarterbacks in the division with Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and Trevor Lawrence, and then Will Levis. He's surprised you, I guess. So we never know. This could be a super tough division, and where in the past it really wasn't that great at all, and now it's going to be super competitive, and the AFC is going to just be the dominant conference for years to come. So I think they're going to just need Anthony Richardson to take another step for them to actually be competitive, and year in year out it's going to be a dogfight. I think that's what it's going to be, to be honest. Because I look at the team, like they have 3 young quarterbacks who project to be good. Will Levis. He's a question mark, but the Titans have a damn near win now roster. They just waiting on the quarterback to get some good to great quarterback play. So this division is, I think, it's kind of slept on, but it should be exciting this year and going forward. Now let's talk about Will Levis. The Titans rebuilt his roster pretty quickly. That was one of the fastest rebuilds we've ever seen. Fired the coach.
Not done yet, but they basically like 60%, 70% of the way there.
Yeah, fired their coach, Mike Vrabel, which I wasn't really a big fan of the firing. But I think they got what's his name, Callahan for the Bengals. Brian Callahan. Yep, old offensive coordinator. He's an offensive minded guy. That is kind of in contrast to what Mike Vrabel was as a coach. But I think Mike Vrabel was a hell of a coach. We're gonna see what Brian Callahan has in store in year one. What are you expecting from Will Levis in his second year and the Titans with his rebuild roster?
The team is not like from a record standpoint. Like, I don't think they should be worried about that. Like, obviously they worried about it, but I don't think they should be. I think they just got to see what Willis can do with this cast of weapons while he is on this rookie contract. Regardless, I mean, he's 24. I'm pretty sure he's like 24 or 25, something like that. So he's like an old rookie, but, time is ticking. Like, you can't let quarterbacks, like, after like year 3, you pretty much, got to move on. So they want to see what they got right now, especially going into next year when there's people think it's a quarterback draft. I don't think so, but there is like a clear one and then some, a couple of maybes that you might want to take a chance on, or maybe you throw your hat in the ring for one of the, Dak Prescott or something like that. He played in Mississippi. That's close by. I'm pretty sure. He get to play with Jeffrey Simmons. He played with him in college. And Dak Prescott with those weapons, he could do some wonders. So instead of paying that type of money, you could just see what you got in your quarterback. Hopefully he puts up some numbers. It might be fake. Who cares? But this is a numbers league, and what you could do. You probably could throw for like 3,800. I say 25 to 30 touchdowns. Obviously, you're going to throw some picks because he's a gunslinger. He actually was good throwing the ball deep. He just couldn't do all the other things like the little throws or the regular down and down, check downs and whatnot. That's what he needs to get better at. The defense should be good. They got 2 good corners. They got a pass rush there as long as they got Jeffrey Simmons healthy. Linebackers are okay. Safeties are okay. They got Jamal Adams, whack ass, in the back burners. I don't think they're going to win more than 8 games, but I think the vibe around the team is going to look a lot better as long as Will Levis can produce. If not, he's going to get the boot, and that's it for that.
I think the Titans have a really, really good roster, and with a better quarterback, I think this team could be damn near competing for a Super Bowl. To be honest, with the roster they have, if they had like a really, really elite quarterback, they would be in Super Bowl contention. To be honest, but I honestly don't think Will Levis is that good at all. To be honest, I think last year he played well for a rookie, but he had some extremely high turnover-worthy plays. Where he got lucky and they were either big plays or incompletions or stuff like that. But I don't think he's that good at processing or reading the field. He's a gunslinger. He has a really big arm, some arm talent. I think he just takes a lot of chances, and he's kind of one of those players like a no fucks given type of player. But I don't think he's really that good at all. I think it's going to hold him back because I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think Tony Pollard is good at all. Well, he's not. I'm not saying he's terrible, but he's not. He's not a running back one in this league. The wide receiver core is pretty solid. The defense is going to be great. It's going to be a top 10 defense for sure. They added my guy Ladarius Sneed. They obviously got Jerry Simmons on the defensive line, and they have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. We know that. But it's going to be a learning curve with his new head coach implementing a new offense. And I just think Will Levis is going to hold them back. I think they'll probably go like 7-10, 8-9, especially in this tough division. And they don't have a particularly easy schedule either. So, yeah, don't really believe in them. They'll be all right. They'll be our team, mediocre. I think they're gonna give Will Levis one more year to prove that he's worth something, and probably try to get a quarterback in the draft or trade for somebody. Because when they already had his team, you can either like sign a Dak Prescott or trade for somebody and take this team to a new level. So they don't get Will Levis one more year to prove what he's worth, because he wasn't no first round pick or nothing like that. So he definitely got the longest leash at all. So this is a make or break year for Will Levis. This is just, you have a good team around you, show what you got. So that's it for him. Let's talk about breakout players in his division. I'll start with mine. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is my breakout player. I kind of alluded to it earlier. Was really high on him coming out of college. I think he had the possibility to get drafted even higher than he did. Really explosive receiver, big play threat. Can do some things a little bit after the catch, not like a Malik Neighbors like Malik Neighbors can, nothing like that. Has to work on his route tree for sure. Has to work on separating, but he's shown some flashes. The hype around him is high coming out of camp. We're reading some articles, we're reading some reports from Jags camp for him because I'm really intrigued, and I think he can have a really, really good rookie season, especially I think the connection with Trevor Lawrence and him going to develop over the season. I think he's so like I think he'll be a wide receiver too, but by the end of the year he'll definitely be the wide receiver one. I respect Christian Kirk, but Gabe Davis, please, and Evan Ingram is still a good weapon, and obviously Travis Etienne out the backfield. But I think he can damn near be the wide receiver one on the team. After year one, 1,000-yard season is incoming for Brian Thomas Jr.
For sure.
Yeah.
Same way you alluded to that, I alluded to my breakout player earlier. I think Derek Stingley is going to become all pro this year. I understand this is hindsight. Like, anybody can say in hindsight, Sauce was the best corner out the draft, but literally Derek Stingley was more talented than Sauce Gardner. He was better than Sauce Gardner in college until he got injured. Then he came back. He still got drafted ahead of him. He was good. He was great last year, to be honest. He's just going to get even better. And now he has help on, coming in from Jeff Okuda, Jalen Peachy, hopefully playing better. Got Jimmy Ward back there. Got Lassiter. So, it's going to be a lot different. He's going to see a lot of, people one-on-one. They might have him travel. So, he's going to have a lot of time to make plays around the ball and do everything. Like I said, super talented. And this team, like I said, the vibe around this team, is through the offseason is great. In camp, he's been looking like a stud, so I expect him to be, cement himself as one of the best corners in the league.
I agree with that. I like Derek Stingley as a corner. He's really good in zone. He's really good in press. He's really physical, and he can definitely I don't know, all pro stuff. But I think he can be really good and be deserving of it, but possibly not make it because this league, the corner has some pretty good talent. Especially, Sauce is damn near locked. PS2, he might not get the look because the team gonna be trash, and we gotta see. But it's definitely in the realm of possibility for sure. I have some trivia and TikTok content for you, Q. So first, I want to ask this: it's a player A or player B? All right, player A or player B? Player A, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. 4,414 total yards, 66.3 completion percentage. Oh, I gotta say this. I'm done with tweak. I gotta say this. I gotta say it second person. I'm like, what am I doing? All right. Player B, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4,275 yards, and 63.9 completion percentage.
This feel like a trap.
Player A or player B?
This feel like a trap. Give me player A.
Player A is Trevor Lawrence in 2022-2023. And player B is CJ Stroud in his rookie season.
Oh, that tracks.
I think it's pretty close. Low-key, CJ was more consistent throughout the season. But I think Trevor probably was better considering. I don't know. Both won one playoff game. I think CJ was better in his playoff game. Well, yeah. It's pretty close. Especially, I think it's more impressive. CJ did it as an actual rookie, even though people give Trevor the pass after that Urban Meyer season. All right, next we're gonna do this new thing. It's not new. It's like the concept is not new. I don't think we've really done it over on the podcast though. I got 3 names for you. All right. Let's play overrated, underrated, or properly rated Madden Ratings Edition. First name up. Trevor Lawrence at 77 overall.
Underrated. Underrated for sure.
Yeah, I agree. That's
at least be like an 83. Based off last season, I at least still got to be like he got to at least be still at 83, something like that, like around that area.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like they have Aaron Rodgers at 83 after not playing the entire season. I understand, the legacy, and Aaron Rodgers is my guy, but him being 6 overalls higher than Trevor Lawrence is just not accurate at all. And I think they might have Tua over him. Let me look. But they probably do. I would assume they don't have Tua lower than the 77. Let me look real quick. Position quarterback. The Madden Raiders actually this year were really bad. Like they were really bad. Mike Williams was really for this was really bad. Yeah, Tua is 88. Oh, hell no. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they got Tua as 88 and Trevor Lawrence is 77. That's ridiculous. Like, that's actually ridiculous. Yeah, nah, bro. Terrible. Definitely underrated. All right. Tony Pollard, 87 overall.
Way overrated. Way overrated. Like I said a couple episodes ago, he averaged 50 yards a game. That's not good. And like you could build or he was injured or whatever. Like that's all you could probably really say. Oh, they was injured because Dallas offensive line is not bad at all. Like not even close. So if you want to blame it on injury, sure, but that's what happens when you use a back that's not supposed to get what's it called? Be a workhorse. When you make a back like him a workhorse, he's gonna get hurt because he's not supposed to be doing that. And that's what happened. He should not be an 87. He hasn't been that good in 2 years. So he need to be like a 70, 79. He really should have Trevor Lawrence rating if we being honest. But that's neither here nor there.
Nah, he definitely overrated. Tony Pollard should not be no 87 overall running back. That's probably top 10 damn near, and he's definitely not top 10 back in the league. Last one. DeAndre Hopkins is an 89 overall in Madden. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated?
I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't bad last year. But I still think like he's slightly overrated. Like I probably put him like at 85. Like still good enough that you could probably throw him like you probably still don't want him as the best receiver on your team. So like 85 is pretty solid.
I agree. He's slightly overrated. I would have him like 83, 85. Still a pretty good receiver in this league. But probably ideally would be like your wide receiver too. I think his skill set, because of his age and injuries, has like his actual skill set is dominant if you're at the top of your athletic peak. But as it ages, it's just not. I don't think it's going to age really well, like a Keenan Allen, like where his skill set where he can be like a really good receiver for a minute. To be honest, but that's it. That's all we have for episode 108. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was obviously a shorter episode, but I think we covered a lot. Covered the main headlines, talk about our breakout players, and had some trivia. So we got back to growing really fast because partly because I started posting our stuff more. We've been doing well on YouTube and TikTok. So as soon as we get back in the swing of things with school, we're gonna be back to posting. Football season about to start pretty soon. We're gonna have our award predictions. We have two more divisions knockout. We got to knock them out pretty quick and then get into our award predictions. And then it's gonna be college football stuff, NFL, all that type of stuff. We're gonna do power rankings weekly. That's why I want to do all that type of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of content for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We are out.